I've been asked to solve these 3 different X puzzles, and so I've got 3 different examples here. One with just positive on top and bottom, one with a positive on top and a negative on bottom, and the third is going to be a negative and a positive. The way that these puzzles work is we're looking for a number, a set of numbers that when we multiply, that's why the little X is up here, when we multiply the 2 numbers together, so the 2 numbers are going to go here. When we multiply them together, they're going to equal 18. And when we add those same 2 numbers together, that's what the plus is for, they're going to equal 9. So the way that I do this to kind of keep it organized in my head is I set up a little T-chart and I start writing down all of the multiples of 18. So I'm going to just write 18. And since both of my numbers are positive, I'm only going to do positives. So I know that 18 times 1 equals 18. I know that 9 times 2 equals 18. I know that 6 times 3 equals 18. And then there's nothing else until I start going 3 times 6, just doing them backwards. But now that I know what my 3 factors are, I'm going to start adding them together. So 18, let's try and write that better, plus 1 equals 19, but that's not the number we're looking for. So 9 plus 2 equals 11, and 6 plus 3 equals 9. Well, that's the one we're looking for. We're looking for when we add these 2 together, they have to equal 9, and when we multiply them together, they had to equal 18. So I know that my answer to this is 6 and 3. Okay, so now let's do it again for our second puzzle. Our second puzzle, this time we've got a positive on top and a negative on bottom. So when we're doing our little T-chart, we know that we've got to get 2 numbers that when we multiply them together equal a positive number. But when we add them, they're going to equal a negative. So my factors both need to be negative because negative times negative is positive. So I've got negative 27 times negative 1. I've got negative 9 times negative 3. And I believe those are my 2 factors. And I can look and say that negative 27 plus negative 1, that's negative 28. That's not it. But negative 9 plus negative 3 is negative 12. So I know that that is set to use. So negative 9 and negative 3. And now let's solve our last one. Our last one has a negative on top and a positive on bottom. So the only way that that's going to work is if we have a negative times a positive. So my factors, I need one to be negative and one to be positive. But since my adding them together is going to be positive, I know my bigger factor has to be positive. So I can say 4 times negative 1. I can do 2 times negative 2, but that's not bigger. Those are going to cancel out to be 0. So when I add them together, I say 4 plus negative 1 equals positive 3, so I know I have my answer.